Hi, I'm Linda Heatherbury, and I'm down at the Inn of Olde, and I'm welcoming in Quid Vidi Village, St. John's, Newfoundland, and I'm welcoming the three wonderful young people called the Once.
What did you guys do with Andrew Dale?
I don't know. I don't
Who's
know.
the bearded fella beside me?
I don't know. The grizzly man just showed up one day. I think he ate Andrew.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, they
All
really...
that's left of him is in this beard.
Come on. That's made for another episode. Now, listen, I want to introduce them, but they really need no introduction because we love them. We talk about you guys all the time on the site. But Andrew Dale, the lovely Geraldine Hollett, and Philip Church down there at the end. Phil, how are you today now?
I'm doing well. I'm very well.
Is that true?
Yeah, it really is. I'm having a great day.
You know what's funny? Yeah, and he's got his thespian, and that was a word we used in our first interview.
That's right.
But Phil, you're acting right now. Like we literally ripped you away from a set. Is that a fair assessment?
Right now, he's actually...
Pretty much. I'm acting right now. This is it. Yeah. I've got a rehearsal after this for a short film, so I'm, gonna tread the boards again for a little bit. Yeah, it feels good.
I like it because that's how the three of you met. If I recall correctly, you were all acting.
Full circle.
And it's like an Oprah moment here at the Inn of Olde. Hey? What?
Oh, good. I love Oprah.
I do too. I do too. I think Jerry and I should get together and just hang out.
I'm cool with that.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I'll pay
we
you
should go.
later. No. But listen, I have to tell you, because when we first met, the four of us, I won't say it was the beginning of your career, but certainly things were just on their way up. And now we meet, like it's almost 3 years later. I don't know if your mantles are big enough. I know you've toured all over the world. Is that right? You're doing the math on that? You're thinking that's too long?
3 years is crazy.
It's
No,
true.
it's probably
It's
right.
true.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And what's happened to you? Tons of awards, tours around the world, a fantastic album.
But I still don't have a mantle.
Is that true? Where
No,
do you
yeah.
put your awards then?
Well, on their mantle. I actually don't have a mantle. It's something I'm working towards.
He's mantleless.
Want to
not
get
there
Hey, you need to get handier.
just enough success so I can actually live in a place that has a mantle.
All right, good enough. All right. So, how are you feeling now? Can you just put a word? Like, I mean, is it dreams come true? Is it like good? Oh, well,
Good.
a little more than that now.
Blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil the other day was playing guitar and like learning a song and laughed. And I could hear him laugh out in the other room. He was like, "This is my job."
I used to have that feeling of like, oh man, you got to put this thing down and quit screwing around and go get some stuff done.
Right.
And then it dawned on me that this is the stuff I'm supposed to be getting done. I'm doing it. I actually got up early for work.
Nice.
Yeah, it felt good.
Oh, beautiful. Well, let's talk about it because the songs, I mean, I got to tell you, I work a little bit late into the night, and I listened to a show that you did in the States, and I'm sure you've done a ton of shows like that, but it was a radio show in Chicago.
Yeah.
I've listened to it like, I don't know how many times. I cry every time. But the songs and the stories mean so much to you, and I wondered on your album, because putting it all together, every track must have meant the world to you, putting it on. How do you select the songs? Are you writing? Are you picking? Like, take us through that process for you.
It's funny because that kind of what you just said is sort of the gauge that we go by. If Jerry gets goosebumps,
Yeah.
or if she wells up, or she like gets a shiver, or any combination of all those three,
Right.
which is often the case as well, then we sort of know that it's a keeper.
Right.
It's a song that we got to pursue.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to tell you, this is between you guys and these three. The song that your dad and then you're telling the story, and I will cry as soon as I start to say it's the face that looks back at me. Yeah. Like, but literally, look at me on my back. It's an Oprah show here. No, but seriously, like that song you wrote.
I know they all said that my heart made no sound when they hoisted me up on the bow, but I can recall the face in the small is a face that looks back at me now.
It's called Charlie's.
Charlie's song.
Yeah.
Okay. And that process, you sat with someone else to write. Are the three?
Oh, yeah, I had to
Yeah.
because it was way too close.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the strength of it either.
It's
No.
so close that you had told me this story, and this is something that we had just, not talking about a song or anything like that. So I had known this story for a while, and she was writing with a friend of ours named Luke Major. And they were trying to kind of figure out what's the core of this, what's the story that we're trying to tell here. And I turned to her and said, "Tell the thing about your mom and your grandma looking out the window." This whole thing. And as she's just kind of telling the story sort of offhand and not even considering this is part of a song, Luke starts crying. And he's just kind of standing there staring at her with this incredulous look of, this is a single tear. And
Right.
thanks for holding out on me, idiot. That's the song. So then the two of them just sat down and finished it right there, right?
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
You don't even know what.
No.
And that's the thing. Sometimes you don't even know what is going to affect you until you see somebody else's reaction to it even before it starts to see if it's something worthwhile.
But something about your shows, it's that story and song together that makes it so effective, and it affects the audience in a way that I'm sure. I mean, you must get that energy back from everywhere. Would you say?
Yeah, and sometimes we're really tired because we've been traveling a long time.
Yeah.
We'll get into telling the stories at a show, and their response livens us up again.
Yeah.
And we just feel like right there in the moment.
I feel like it first kind of started out as because we weren't really sure of what we were doing. And none of us had really played like this before. And I know personally, the story was almost making an excuse for something that came up after. It's like, if you don't get the song or if you don't really like it or whatever, I'm just going to kind of, explain it all beforehand, and hopefully that'll make you kind of accept it a little bit more. So it starts off in that way, and then, after a year of playing, people start mentioning the stuff that you do in between songs before they mention the songs themselves. And then you kind of realize that, okay, that's part of it. Because for a long time we used to tell each other, okay, tonight, shut up, just play.
That's right.
Like,
And then it's not the same kind of show.
No.
And we don't feel the same.
No doubt.
It's also the difference of actually seeing someone live versus just putting the record on.
Right. Although you guys sound exactly like the record, which is so pleasant, because let's be clear, we've all been to shows where you're like, really? Auto-tune? Come on, right? But I'm not going to name names. But I will say that it's such a moving experience. And I'm wondering now if I could just go across the three of you, and you guys can get your answers because I'm starting with you.
Okay.
Pick your favorite moment.
Oh,
of
no.
the last three. Like, is there, or even just
Like
a
the
couple.
last tour or something? Or?
Well, no, whatever. Like, I'm just thinking, like, has there been a moment where you like, if somebody said, Andrew Dale, tell me the best time you had?
Oh my God, there's way too many.
Okay, give me your top
I'll
three.
give you one from the last tour.
Okay.
Because it sort of alludes to what Geraldine was saying, about just being on like a long tour, or getting tired, and relying on the audience to sort of help you get through it maybe a little bit. We had traveled a long ways. We'd had a really, really long old haul. It was during this last tour that we did, a winter tour. 2-month tour, and we landed in Calgary. And we played a show at the Ironwood Stage and Grill. If you're ever in Calgary, check it out. It's an amazing venue, amazing food, amazing people.
Yeah.
And East Coaster, who actually runs it.
Nice.
Beautiful man.
That's
Anyway,
why.
yeah, that's might have something to do with it. But we were actually pretty exhausted.
Yeah.
Not that we'd ever make that excuse.
Sure.
But we get on stage, feeling kind of run down because, that was the nature of it. And we started on the show, and right from the start, the crowd in there, first of all, it was sold out, which in itself is a nice little energy boost for you.
Yeah.
But so it was a packed house, but it was not only just the size of the room and the crowd. It was the amount of love and affection that they were giving us right from the moment we walked on the stage. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And there was actually a moment where I had to mention it. Like I had to tell them how much of a difference it was actually making to us that night, and how, when you're on the road for a long time, and it's just day in, day out, from one highway to the next, from one hotel room to the next, one gig after the next, and to walk in to a room like that and to have that sort of response, it's affirming, it's life affirming, it's career affirming, that what you're doing means something,
Right.
and that it's worth it, and that all the heartache and all the difficulties that come with this business, because there's lots of them,
Right.
but it's
I'm sorry, what?
but it reminds me
up, grizzly
those.
man.
That's right. I've gotten
He may look brawny, but really.
I've gotten so weak and whiny with this beer.
Yeah, and you touch it a lot, eh?
I touch it
What
a lot.
did you do before? That's what I'm like. What did you? Oh wow!
Just this is classier. then anyway.
So you would say your show in Calgary.
So yeah, like it was
But that's just
amazing.
one example.
That's just
probably,
one
of-
example.
yeah.
But yeah, just feeding that, feeding off that energy makes it worth it.
Yeah.
It's totally incredible.
All right, now
Yeah.
Jerry, it's your turn, my dear.
Oh, there's. I think. Well, after every show, someone comes up and talks about how things have affected them, or how, with the song Charlie's or whatever, somebody will say, well, my dad was a farmer, so I understand. Or I get to hug people all the time, constantly. So that happens.
Yeah. You're a great hugger, too, by the way.
That's the thing.
You should just have a hugging booth somewhere,
I
like
would
at a merch table.
I would.
Like
Hey?
pimping her out.
No,
for
but
her.
just saying.
It kind of
Oh,
happens,
smart.
and
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that. We played
Totally fine.
on our last tour. We played in Scotland, and I wanted to go to Scotland since I was 14. And we played in what was that place called? Market Square or
St. Andrews in the Square.
Perfect. Nowhere close.
I'm not gonna forget the name of that place.
Oh, well, St. Andrews. is in there.
But we played in Scotland for the first time in Glasgow for a sold-out crowd. We got a standing ovation. I'm really thrilled about that. But that's not what I'm really excited about. When we were there, we met this. This is the beauty of the road and the beauty of free will, I guess. We met this. We were doing an interview at this little church, and we ended up singing. And in comes this, and you don't know him yet, but you're gonna. So in walks this fella, and he hears us singing, and he looks at Phil, and he says, "Can you hang on? I'll chat with you after." It's this English fella. And through the jigs and reels, Phil tells us that we're going to Edinburgh tomorrow. And it's like, okay, because we have a day off, so that's what we ended up doing. It's like, excellent. So we end up showing up there, and we meet with this guy, Mike Rosenberg, who's with this, who's like, okay, we'll go see his show, awesome. He wants to write with us, and he wants to do a video. But the writing thing couldn't happen because we all had separate cards. So what we did was we decided to do a video, and together.
So I'm leaving, for there's nothing to believe in. I'm just grieving for a love I never knew. Please don't go mistreating me. I'm not saying you've been misleading me, just not needing me the way that I need you.
And this guy happens to be, and we find out later, which is really cool, he happens to be Passenger. And I know you don't know him yet, but you're gonna, because he's like hitting big time. And
We
it was
Googled
so
him after
exciting.
just to see who this guy was.
This
and
random guy.
Well, it turns out he had just done an opening tour across Canada and then went back to do his own headlining when he was opening for his old buddy Ed Sheeran, who a couple nights later was on the Grammys with Elton
Right.
John. And then so we Googled
Yes.
this guy Passenger, who's our new buddy, and his recent single, which had just come out,
Let her go.
had 12 million,
7 at that point.
7 million views on YouTube. And by the time the tour was over, it was like 10 to 12 million.
And now it's 22.
And now he's like this huge.
And his
Star.
name is
His name is, well, he calls himself Passenger.
Passenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
So it was
You'll-
like
you'll play this again in about 2 years' time,
Right.
and everyone will know.
Cool.
unreal.
be
It was an unreal experience, and it was beautiful, and we just did everything in this place called the Caves, or we recorded on the album in a hotel room. I think it was like a travel lodge or something like that. It was just,
Okay,
it was a
so-
wonderful experience. You get to do stuff like that on the road.
But I'm thinking now, and I'm thinking back to how it all started, and I'm thinking that aren't you guys? Hasn't it all just been incredibly, like
You want to say lucky? Go
serendipitous? No, I don't. I know
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
talented. Like but you know what I mean. Like when you think about it.
Nothing that we have done from the point that this whole thing started was planned or had any expectation. Usually we're just fumbling through and getting lucky. And then a point comes along when you realize, you can give yourself a little tiny bit of credit because nobody can string together that much luck for that long of a period of time. So we're starting to kind of settle into what
I think
we've
it's
done.
meant to be. That's what I mean. I just think but seriously, I just think about how the three of you met, and then how you were in Lunenburg, and that fellow was like, "Here you are, let's make an album," and then, I mean, I just think it's wonderful. That's all. That's
It is
all.
really wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, I
It's nice when good things happen to good people. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you're a doll.
Well, there you
You know, I mean, I wouldn't generally
Phil's
go
not
down
very
the-
nice.
Not very nice?
Phil, what's your favorite moment over the past 3 years?
There's a few that I think just to go for this is not on stage moment or a musical moment. We
Is nudity involved?
later on after the story there was, but
Off camera.
well, the mood was just so good from this experience which I'm about to
Yours.
relay that
Wow.
you had to get naked after.
It's not that kind of show. I don't know where that came from.
You started it. So we're up north, and we do a lot of northern Canadian stuff, and I kind of feel it's something that we've learned in touring over the last little while. People say like, oh, you know, I've been all across Canada. I've been to Vancouver, you know, Winnipeg, Toronto, Halifax. Like, that's not going across Canada.
No.
It's hitting a highway halfway through the prairies and driving 14 hours north and hanging around up that area. That's the way to see this country. So we were in one of
And
these.
Newfoundland and Labrador.
That's right.
Hey?
Newfoundland
we
and
won't
Labrador.
start there. All
Everyone
right.
else leaves it off the list. I
I
might as
know.
well, right?
Oh.
Oh no. So we were in one of these great northern towns. I think it was Fort St. John. Was it?
Yeah.
So
I don't know where the story's going.
great
but yes.
hotel. Exactly right.
He only knows there's nudity at the end.
So he's like, it could have been any night, man. So we're in this great northern town. It's absolutely frozen. Very small little place. Get to the hotel. Nice surprise. Incredible hotel. The gym has a pool table in it, which is our kind of gym.
Yeah, dude.
What a
Great
workout.
restaurant, and
Yeah.
you know everything's taken care of. And the guy who runs the theater, it's also a movie theater.
Okay.
So we head up there. He's like, "You can come see a movie." So yeah, definitely, we'll come see a movie. So we get up there, and it's this great little theater, beautiful little spot called Phoenix. And we go in, and they just start saying, you know, do you want some treats and popcorn stuff? They're just kind of handing us this stuff for free, and it's like, rock star, all right, this is cool. There's that thing that I heard, you know, getting free stuff. This is excellent.
Popcorn.
We're waiting for that
That's
for
so
years,
good.
right? So, you know, we're just picking away from the candy counter, and then they pick up this massive brown leather couch from the lobby, and they walk it into the theater, and we're walking behind with like, you know, dark glasses on, 3D glasses with like armloads of stuff, just kind of like strolling in behind them, and they carry this thing in, and there's nobody in the assisted seating row where there's no seats. So they plunk the couch down there, and we sit back on this thing.
Our Oprah.
It was great, right? And this was just one
unreal.
of those things that
Wow.
like, I'll never forget that. You know, of all the times, from the first time picking up an electric guitar at like 14 or 15, somehow, and it wasn't exactly that moment, but there was something like that
Yeah.
that I just wanted to happen once, to feel that thing, right? And then, I mean, the only other better way to do it would have been then to take the couch back to the hotel and push it out of 14th floor or something like that into a pool.
Right.
We just stayed on the couch and they carried us
Yes,
back to the
back to the
hotel.
hotel.
Yeah, naked. That's when we got naked.
Full circle. Full circle. Okay, and now here, because I've got to let you go. They're always busy, but what's next? Now you're on a little bit of a reprieve, and then you're heading where? What's the plan?
We're back on the road, but yeah, right now it's just.
What are you at now? If he's acting, what are
What
you
is
doing?
he at? What am I at?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm the guy in charge of his schedule.
really?
I make his bookings.
Okay, this is a good. Now we're getting some insight. Now, are you the caretaker on the road? Like, do you keep them all like it's time, or do you all? Are you all?
I think we all have our
jobs,
I
though.
think we all have our moments of
And
sort
what
of
are you?
keeping
What's your
the
role?
machine moving.
Okay.
Yeah. I do sort of help out with bookings in terms of like transportation and accommodations,
Okay.
that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Show advancing and stuff.
Show advancing. Yeah.
Jerry.
It's kind of like tour management.
yeah.
Yeah. Tour management stuff. Yeah.
I give out the money, I count it, and give it out to everyone.
Most important job.
I'm the wheelman, baby.
Really, you're the driver all the time?
Yeah.
Because you were tweeting pics from the road, and there were a few moments I was concerned.
There
Hey,
are times when we get back to
Oh, it's
Canada and get on open stretches, we split it up a little because,
Okay.
well, on the last tour,
Mother of mercy,
to
the
get to one of
storms
these
you drove
shows.
through.
Oh yeah,
Like,
there was one that was 14 hours just to get to the show, so it was 2 full days. of driving.
And the night that we finally got to that destination, it was a night off, and that's actually when that movie theater night happened.
Oh, so you needed
Yeah.
it.
It was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had brutal stuff like we had a snowstorm coming down from Edinburgh going towards London, that we just couldn't drive in. We just kind of pulled over to the side of the road.
And you're on the other side too there, right? Is that right? Or
This
no?
was just in the middle of nowhere. We were just driving through.
Keep it
Scottish
between the ditches.
countryside, yeah.
Oh, my favorite
been a
moment.
path.
I remember my favorite moment.
It wasn't the couch?
No, it was
That was
even
so
better.
good.
We were doing a radio interview in Belfast, and Geraldine got so sick she had to lie down on the floor.
Oh, I'm so
And on the way home,
His favorite moment.
she said, on the way home, she's like,
See, I
I was like,
told
are
you.
you okay? You okay, babe? Do you need me to pull over? She's like, no, I'm good, I'm good.
Oh, I know.
3 seconds later, yeah, pull over. And she gets out and just starts throwing up. It was like a stomach
had
bug,
a
but this is
bug.
like projectile vomiting. And I just kind of, giving her a second, right? Just kind of looking straight ahead and checking the rearview mirror.
Are you a
Tight little
sympathetic
roads.
puker?
Not really.
Okay.
And I mean, yeah, it felt really bad when you're.
We felt
No,
bad
I
for
don't
her.
mean that. I mean, like, would you hurl as well if you saw someone?
No. Oh,
You're
yeah,
an empathetic puker.
empathetic people. So I look over and she's.
We have
and-
T-shirts. You can order them after the show.
Yeah, right. All I can see is
Once.ca. There you go.
like bum, top of head, just facing back at the car, high sort of fences and a gate, and these 6 just horrified, stunned-looking sheep just kind of staring at her. And you could tell these things are never going to be the same again. They're probably generally pretty mistrustful of humans anyway, and then they just see one like bound out of this steel box and just go, ah, right in their faces.
But
That was my
empathetic.
favorite moment.
Sure.
But empathetic sheep at the same
Favorite
time.
moment. Well, you don't. You never.
Doesn't
puke.
happen
You
often.
never
No,
puke.
that's true.
What a wonderful image for Geraldine.
Gotta knock her down a
Well,
peg
you
and make it
look-
real,
Come
right?
on,
Make it real.
no, you're all
It's
magical.
real.
Okay, so where are you
I love
going?
it.
You're welcome.
To Geraldine.
Geraldine.
Hey,
Oh.
let's just. So where are you off to now?
After this,
Yeah, like well, not today specifically, but what's touring this summer?
Eastern Canada tour is coming up first, and then all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. But between now and then, just hanging out at home, jamming, writing.
Yeah.
Looking down through the mist to another record at some point, and yeah, getting ready.
I have cleaned my counter. So when I go home, I'm going to clean the table. And I feel very good about that. I like living at home where I can do those things.
You miss
You
home,
wouldn't
right?
say you wouldn't say it for the amount of times I do it, but I really do like it. Yeah, I do miss it.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've been home for like 2 months, so I actually feel like I'm living here.
Right.
You feel like that? I feel like I'm living here,
Yeah.
not just home for a vacation and running away
Throw your
again.
bags,
First-
do some laundry.
First pants day. Today.
We were, we've been home long enough that.
You should pan down now because people are like, "What
Yeah,
kind of pants
that's
is he
right.
wearing?" People want to know.
Dungarees. Dungarees. Denims.
I love it. All right.
No, we've been home long enough that I was able to actually make plans and propose to my girlfriend.
He buried the lead. What? Does everyone know this?
Now.
Oh my gosh! Now I gotta rush home and edit it. People know.
we put it up on Facebook, so yeah, when you do that, I think it's pretty widespread.
Outstanding. Congratulations, she's a doll.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, well, I've only seen her in pictures, but
You should meet her.
You look very.
You'd get
similar
on
to
really
her.
well.
Is that true?
Well, yeah, you're both lovely people.
Oh, I'll pay you later. Listen, the ones I love ya. Should we plan to meet back here in 3 years and drink again and toast to your success?
Yeah.
And your people will be like, okay, moving in the sofa. And then you'll sit down. They'll make me stand way back there. But I love you all, and I wish you all the very best. To the ones. To the ones. Cheers. To the ones.
CBC.